72 players in the Party Poker European Open 5. And now the field is coming together like opposite halves of a jam sandwich. Just one guaranteed seat left in the first semifinal. And tonight, 6 more poker stalwarts sit down to compete for that and a shot at a $200,000 first prize. So saddle up, cowboys, and get ready to ride. Dixie Dean is an East London tournament specialist who has taken to this format like pie to mash. Dixie has a World Open final to his credit, and aggression is in his nature.
If we win this tournament, I would say it's life-changing for me. You know what I mean? It's big money. There's not a player that I'm frightened of. Obviously, there's better players out there that I respect, but none of them frighten me at all.
You always know what you're gonna get with Greek shipping magnate and poker TV star Achilleas Kallakis. He's the master of the slow play and always bites when you least expect it. Cowboy Tim Flanders is a veteran of televised poker, known for his intellect, his creativity, and his hand puppets, due for a big win if his game is on form. Runner-up in the Irish Poker Championship 2 years ago, nothing plays faster than the speed of Mick McCool's mouth, though his game comes close.
It's important to win this tournament because it's like a big bloody, it's not a monkey, it's a bloody gorilla in my back, so it is, because I get the piss ripped out of me all the time by people, because obviously I haven't won one yet, you know, and I'm very competitive, like, so yes, I want to win badly.
Former World Open finalist David Rudling has seen his game improve dramatically in the last 2 years, and results have followed. A favorite to be in the mix when the guns are blazing.
My form the last 12 months has been actually pretty good, probably the best poker year of my life, I guess. I've just come back from Asia actually for the Asia Poker Championships, had a really good time out there and made a bit of money, so yeah, things are pretty good at the moment.
This is Irishman Donica O'D. The winner of Poker Million 3 also has a WSOP bracelet to his name and is respected as one of the steadiest cash players in the game.
I think the others would regard me as a very tight, solid player, so, you know, sometimes I can make use of that image.
This ship will be steady as she goes tonight. The flash is in the box. I'm joined by the European #1, Marc Goodwin. Marc, welcome and congratulations on getting through in your first heat.
Yeah, thanks very much. That was a bit tough, but glad to get through.
On this table, someone you're going to be playing in the semifinal, and a lot of experience there, Donica O'D and David Rudling. You make Donica the favorite here tonight?
He's the class act on the table, without a doubt. There's some good players there, but he's head and shoulders above these in my book.
The chips on the table, 100,000 in front of every player. The yellow chip's worth 1,000, blues are 2, reds 5K apiece, and there's a 600,000 in play total.
I mean, you dropped the next one to be chip lead, didn't you? Yeah, let's be honest, for a while.
Yeah, you've had an incredible strike record lately in this format, Marc, and I mean, you've got some very opinionated views on the first level. You think actually that some people, oh my gosh, 2 kings straight up, but that some people play too many hands too early?
Without a doubt.
Raised to 6,000 total.
They get concerned by the fact that they know it's a fast structure, thinking that they have to play
raised
that.
to 12,000.
Min re-raise from Kallakis. I mean, this min re-raise, he's trying to get action. He doesn't realize what kind of trouble he's in, does he?
This is scary. Obviously, we know what's going on here, but there's no reason for Kallakis not to think that his ace-king is good. He's seen a raise and 2 raises in a row in the first 3 hands.
Re-raise.
And if these guys get all the chips in right now, are either of them doing anything wrong?
I don't like getting my chips in Kallakis' position, and obviously don't mind getting all my chips in Dave's position, but you know, I think he's given his hand away a bit here, because Kallakis is probably thinking I've got a push here or fold, and the push option's really hard to do, you know. It's tough.
It's only 15,000 more. I mean, it's not a min re-raise, but it's not far away. I mean,
yeah, but the thing is, you can't get, at the end of the day, you're holding ace high. You know, a lot of people get carried away with this hand. You know, for me, the better players pass ace king more often than not. He knows he has to hit ace or king. He doesn't know his kings are dead, but...
So, I mean, right now, this is a spot where Kallakis could actually fold if he wants to?
I think he's more likely to move all in than fold, but, you know, for me, I'm folding. Yeah, well played.
Wow. I mean, that's...
Well played.
That's not so easy to do. I mean, maybe in a World Series multi-table format, but in a single-table format.
That is class, because, you know, he's put some chips in the pot. He's getting raised by a guy who's playing second raise in a row. He's getting pushed around a bit, he won't like it. He's got a premium hand and he's put it down. I mean, that is really good play.
Pass. Pass. Call.
And
Pass.
the limp in.
Call. No raise.
I mean,
Yeah,
first level, you're not a big fan of limping in really in it with anything, or are you?
No, not at all. But I mean, I'm the term they use on the internet, all the young kids these days, it's called mind setting, where they're trying to like trap a set and they hit a set, and there you go. But oh my goodness me, look at this.
How big could this pot get?
6,000.
Set, flush, straight.
Wow.
Call.
Quick call from Achilleas. I mean, he's not really to know right now how much action he could get by fast playing this, is he?
No, but he's made absolutely the correct move, because the last thing he wants to do is see another spade on the turn.
Flanders has got the straight. I mean, what should happen now?
Well, quite rightly, Timmy's obviously of the opinion that he's betting, say, a lone ace or a
20,000.
pair. He's got a big hand here.
And he's made a big bet.
Yeah. I mean, I can't see Kallakis putting his hand down. I think those two are going to go to war, but I can see Donoghue being clever enough to pass, but it is a real tight spot, this.
Can you pass a set here? I mean, how many options does Donoghue have? Is raise an option right now for him?
No.
Call.
Now comes the move, because if Kallakis can push here, if he can find it within himself to push. Oh.
Call.
Is that a what kind of call is that? I mean, is he actually is he trying to slow play slow? Or is he actually worried?
I think he knows he's winning, but he's just hoping a spade doesn't come in the end. Oh my goodness me! Wow.
Check.
Donoghue's got 4 threes, and I mean,
and he still looks like he's asleep.
Can this pot get bigger?
I can only see a call. I think if he bets here...
What's the bet size? What should the bet size be?
He's going to bet 32,000 in my book here.
40.
And there you go, bets 40.
40,000.
He's going to get called by Kallakis, and that allows Tim Flanders to fold, because Tim cannot be winning in this coup.
We've already seen Achilleas is kind of on his A game tonight. I mean, obviously, the flush is good, a good hand, but... I mean, he doesn't think Donoghue would be bluffing here, does he?
The information he has got is he's in a three-way coup, and a three-way coup will open itself up to a full house being out there, as opposed to if it heads up, you just can't believe they've got it. In his mind, he's betting with the flush. He's playing a hand that's got a bigger flush draw, and maybe to someone who's got 2 pair or a set.
If somebody had a bigger flush out there, I mean,
I think the hand would have been played faster.
Right.
So I mean that's probably going to mess up his thought process.
Because it's, I mean, and who's he more worried about? Is he worried about?
Call.
Yeah, and Tim has to pass here.
This has been one strange hand. It's kind of amazing that no one's going to go broke here.
Well, you see, what Kallakis' flush is just sort of mid-range, and he was scared of another spade coming out, because when he gets 2 opponents, he's thinking, I'm never going to make somebody with the ace of spades pass. So he needs to see no spades.
Look at that face, Tim. Physical torture pain. But 40,000 is nearly all his stack. Can he beat a bet and a call?
No. And I'm sure he's going to be clever enough to understand that. He's just mad that it's paired up at the end, but he doesn't know the pair up at the end has actually saved him. He's not going to be thinking that, but that's exactly how it is.
He's looking at Achilleas. He's looking at Donoghue. I mean, in his wildest dreams, could he say to himself, Achilleas... No.
Pass.
Well, his best chance was to phone a friend. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Take it as a good pass.
What a hand!
I flopped the straight.
What a hand!
I flopped the straight.
When big hands collide, 3 of them in that hand, and I'm here with Nick Perceau, poker analyst, and Nick, Kallakis took a lot of flack for that one, especially on the turn. Was he unlucky, or was there another play?
Well, they said in the commentary box that, you know, he should have probably gone all in on the turn, and maybe he was missing out on value and he could protect his hand. You know, I think whilst that could be true in this circumstance, I think, you know, we can't give him too much flack. He didn't want to give away the strength of his hand. If the ball didn't pair, he would have won a really big pot. And, you know, we're being a bit results orientated and he got a bit unlucky. So I don't want to give him too hard a time for the way he played his hand.
What's the balance? In No Limit Hold'em, you flop a big hand, but at the same time, you know if you get too much action, you're beat. All three players had that scenario.
Tim Flanders was actually drawing dead from the minute the flop came out when he flopped a straight, which is a big hand in this format again. He was actually drawing dead. He did very well throughout the hand to, you know, just call on the flop, protect his hand on the turn because he think it needed to, and build a pot because he had a good hand. But then after a while, he shut down and made a good fold on the river. Donica had a very strong hand. It's not easy to flop sets in Hold'em, and luckily for him, he made quads.
Quads, nice to make on the river. Maybe Donico D's the lucky man.
I don't think he have a decision there with Donovan.
No, that's...
Let me just tell you, everyone else on that table is gutted that the chips went that way. You know, in these coups, you know, let's be honest, you're hoping that who you perceive to be the worst player gets them.
And I mean, if there is one guy who might have gotten off the 3 threes on the turn, it might have been Donica, or might he not have gotten off them?
No, I would say 100% a push on the turn by Kallakis, and that's the end.
That would have been the end of it.
Pass.
Achilles went all in under the gun for 24. Flanders finds the jacks and reshoves for 54.
Yeah, he wants to isolate himself with jacks. It's not that nice a hand, you know.
And we're going to lose Kallakis in the first level unless he spikes. You know, maybe he didn't have to shove under the gun with the ace-9, but with what's gone on, you can't exactly criticize him for it.
There you go, have some of that, you know what I mean? If you're going to lose, like, losing style.
Well, I think the jack on the turn is really going to be, that's when the hammer is going to be in the coffin.
You might as well put that there, mightn't you? More than likely it'll be an 8, so he gives himself the chance that he thinks he's got some outs. There you go, the 8 or the queen.
By the way, Mick McCool passed 2 5s in this hand, Marc. I mean, imagine if Kallakis didn't open shove.
Yeah.
McCool would be gasping right now, but I think it's a jack on the river.
Okay. Good luck, guys. Cheers.
3 jacks enough.
Mick McCool's escaped there as well, hasn't he?
Yeah. And quick day at the office for Achilles. It sounds kind of raw to say, but I think it's like the best I've seen him play in years. Poor Achilles.
Yeah.
First level's in the books. Of course, the big pot from Donico D. He's still the tightest guy at the table. I mean, who do you fancy is going to be moving to the 2 and 4 level?
Obviously, Dixie. See, the problem is you look at yourself and you see you've got 72 and you think you're under pressure, but you're not. Sit back, take account, watch things happening, and then get yourself in a position. Position is the key in these games.
We'll be playing down to that last guaranteed seat in the semis after this. Has Rudling slowed down, or is it just that, you know, the pots have been raised before they got to him, sort of thing?
Yeah, action's been going on well before it's got to him. You know, as soon as you're going to give him a shot, he'll, you know, this passes round to him on the button, he makes a play.
It's got to be 8.
Oh, sorry. Jeez, I thought it was still on 2-4. 8,000. There you go. I made it cheap for you, Dixie.
Yeah, he wanted to make it 3 times the big blind. It's only
what a mistake that is,
mid-raise.
Times I think he blew this one off.
Is it hard for Donica to fold here because he's got so many chips? And
yeah, the spot that you find Dixie in here, where we were talking about things he has to get a hurry on. If he does actually decide to get a hurry on here, as we can see, he's going to get it through. He should never ever call in this spot.
But a squeeze. But you like the spot for a squeeze play?
Yeah, it's absolute. That is teed up for him here. If he doesn't think Mick McCool's got a hand, you saw Donahue call under pressure. He's not got to beat me.
And you don't feel, and Donica can't have a huge hand here, really.
No.
Yeah.
You can't put a shilling in calling, though.
Check.
Right.
That is, like, you know, that's really bad. Oh, I've got to be careful when I say really bad. No, Dixie, nice play, son. Well done.
It's amazing, though. I mean, you know, these squeeze plays, people talk about them so much, but you can see how often they would work. Huh. Is this gonna work? Dixie's all of a sudden hit what looks like
14,000.
his card.
Dixie's in a bad spot 'cause he's got Mick behind him. He doesn't know what Mick's going to do. Heads up, I fancy he calls in quite quick, but with Mick behind, it's a tough spot.
What are the chances Donica has a king? And
You checked the king with him, so as I did.
is this raise or fold, or is call an option?
You know, I'd love to think I knew what was going through his mind, but I don't.
If you're Dixie here, you pretty much at this stage just pass. I mean, is that?
Well, you know, he's right in his thinking. I know what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that he doesn't think Donoghue would check a king.
Right.
You know, but actually he would, you know, in this spot. If he's marginal calling, he's calling with king jack, king 10. He would check that to see what Mick did.
And, there's a bunch of draws out there. None of them got there. I mean...
Yeah, I don't
Check.
see Donoghue betting, and Dixie's going to check, and Dixie
One,
wins.
please.
Didn't I tell you how well he played that hand? Didn't I say at the beginning when he just flat called that was just awesome?
I mean, when you wind this back, Mark, you'll realize Dixie got maximum value there. Maximum.
Just how well did he play that hand? Dixie, you are a star. I love this
game. It's a
Dixie.
funny
He's different
game,
grade, isn't he? What a player.
He's calling 20 the winners.
First time David's had a chance to be the first raiser. He's actually got something to raise with.
Raise.
First time in a while.
11,000 total. Pass.
What do you think's going to happen here? Can you see these guys getting all the chips?
I was just about to say, I hope he doesn't call.
Would have been a nice spot for a re-raise. But if he does re-raise, I mean, Rudling could just shove on him, couldn't he? I mean, he's not beyond that, is he?
No. No.
I mean...
He's definitely not.
Maybe that's what Dixie was thinking. The reason you don't like the call is because it makes Dixie's hand very hard to play now? Or?
Check.
Yeah, he's put no pressure on his opponent. He's asking no questions. The only way he can play his hand is if he hits.
Check.
Rudling is playing this so soft that... Is
8,000.
Dixie now betting for value?
I think he gets called here. I mean, I just don't see why he doesn't get called.
Re-raise to 23,000 total.
Pretty strong, isn't it?
There you go. I mean, he actually thinks he's winning, and instead of calling, he raises, which is a much better move. And Dixie's done money in this pot where he actually could have won the pot pre-flop.
And, I mean, if Dixie looks at this and says, what kind of hand could Rudling have? I mean, like, Rudling could actually have a huge hand here, couldn't he?
Yeah, I think I'd rule out the huge one. I think he would actually just be smooth calling him with, like, queens over or nines over. But he definitely can have some sort of pair.
Could it be a bluff?
Could you check that twice? Twice.
I mean, does Dixie just have to swallow here because the way the hand's been played, or, you know, is there some kind of creative option for him?
Well, he hasn't give the illusion to anyone that he's got any hand of any substance that would be beating sevens.
And he's not looking that strong.
Have you got it in you to check that twice?
No, he may have got lucky and hit a 9. You would expect him to come out betting with the queen. So, you know, it's hard for Dave to put him on any hand whatsoever. But if he makes a move, you know.
And if Dixie has a 9 here, he's just calling him down, right? So, I mean, a raise is a really odd play, isn't it?
Yeah, do you see what and that's all from the pre-flop play of not re-raising.
Pass.
You see, when you don't re-raise and you don't put out that sort of pressure, you limit the actual range of your hand. And now it doesn't scare Dave as to the range of his hand. And the way the hand plays out makes it even more easy for him to play the hand with sevens. I mean, I like the raise with sevens. It's much better than the call.
I was in there for 10 minutes to come out. It was an hour cramp in the car.
Oh, jeez.
I had to get that cramp. I had to get a taxi back to the hotel. I only had 14 euros in my pocket.
And a clamp straight away.
Pass.
I mean,
10 minutes.
surely you meant to get
I
a
was in
ticket
a
first.
disabled spot, so I was outside the town hall.
Call.
So anyway, I went down to the hotel, changed out the euros.
Call.
I'd left my food up there on top of the car because it was out
Tim
there
has
and it was cold, and somebody had robbed me drink.
Sorry, Dixie's limped in from the button with this 8-9 suited. We'll be 3 ways here. And you're not a big fan of playing hands in the small blind, but Queen Jack offsuit, this is a good spot for Tim,
yeah,
right?
Definitely, yeah. I don't put that down. Definitely make up blinds with that.
And like we've seen, if this gets checked around on the flop, Flanders is betting the turn, right? 60% of the time he's going to win 100% of them?
Yeah, you'd actually fancy Tim's going to win this hand, yeah. Especially if it comes of that card.
Wow, he's got
now
the nuts.
just look at that. That's the killer, horrible card for Dixie.
Oh, what? Are you absolutely right?
Horrible.
And I mean, we can see that he's in trouble here, but the bet is that kind of reasonable from him on the turn? I mean,
yeah, I mean he's made a small bet. He's bet less than the pot size because he's got a draw in hand. And it's really not that bad.
He doesn't mind if someone calls him because building the pot is kind of smart when you're on a draw like that, right?
Yeah.
8.
He's going to get raised there.
Cool.
Wow.
Yes.
This is good.
And
as long as it's not a diamond.
I mean, in Tim's mind, Dixie's drawing dead. That's why he's called, right?
Correct. He knows he's got the stone cold nuts, but he doesn't know whether he does or want to say, oh, that's a dream. See a club or a diamond and put him on the back foot, he wouldn't know what to do. He has to check here and let Dixie try and make a bet.
Overall,
12,000.
He's bet that. We know what Dixie's got, but by betting that, he would get a call off Dixie with an ace, a king, or a 10 here, more than likely, because Dixie can't work it out, and quite rightly so. How can't you raise me on the turn and a deuce comes and now you want to bet? It's difficult to see what Tim could have, but let me just tell you, when somebody smooth calls you on the turn and then fires into you with a blank, it really does raise the alarm bells. You've got to have something big to make a move, really big.
Was Marky over there?
All you could hope for was a call.
Martin.
And the puppet is on the table. We are not disappointed. It just took the Broadway straight to bring it out. The pitchfork is in. That is the end of the second level. I mean, what do you make for the 3 and 6,000?
Yeah, I think it's going to get a lot busier now. If you look at Mick McCool and Dixie on the 70,000s, they're going to start to push, and this is when you get marginal hands getting called by marginal hands.
Is the people who can't answer your problem, then they'll transfer you and the line goes dead, and you spend half an hour waiting for the damn.
Yeah.
12 and a half big blinds. You cannot just push with 12. That's the time to be a little patient, isn't it? 12 and a half big blinds.
Yeah, there's no point pushing because you're only going to get called by a big hand, and you're only going to be winning the blinds by pushing anyway. So
nice spot for Tim. Now, if there's a guy who might slow play aces, could be Tim Flanders.
Well done.
And I mean, is it still a little bit reckless to slow play aces, or are there arguments for it here for Tim?
Personally, I think there's definitely argument for it. He's got position, and this is definitely going to induce a bet from Dixie here.
I live in a big country estate, so
And you know, maybe he feels like Dixie is liable to give him action from this, you know, with a lot of hands here, right?
Yeah. The thing is, though, I think Tim's going to raise him here because of the two hearts. He might be scared of the flush draw. He's going to lose his customer if he does.
Raised.
I mean, really? I mean, Dixie's hand is pretty strong looking, isn't it? I mean, wouldn't Dixie say to himself, if Tim had a 3, he's calling me on the flop?
I'll be going home if you've got a 3.
Yeah, it's tough. He's in a very tough spot here. Tim's played this hand really well.
I think I'll be going home if you've got a 3. 34,000.
I mean, aren't there some hands that Dixie can beat right now that Tim would have raised with? What if Tim had 6-7 suited, 6-8 suited?
Yeah, he beats all of those, and he beats the flush draw. He doesn't beat any overpair, but then he'll be saying to himself, I raised, what could he call with? Well, then 7s, 8s and 9s, and he raises all the rest of the hands, 10s, jacks, queens, he re-raises pre. So yeah, you know, it's a real tough spot.
Tim has set the trap, and it's come perfect. How can Dixie get out of this?
Well, that's exactly right what you've said. Tim set the trap, but the flop has actually put him to the sword, you know.
Call.
Why did he look? Did he forgot what he had?
One time I don't raise him in the whole game. One time I raise him.
Yeah, and it's a real poor spot for Dixie because obviously the king with a paired board, Mark, the king is no good. It has to be a 6.
First time you've small blind raised me. First time.
There is the king. 9% he's got.
And you hit your 6 as well.
But I'll bet Tim feels stronger than 91%, but it's strong anyway.
Sorry, why's he gone?
He went all in.
Yeah, he
oh,
went
yes,
all.
sorry, I didn't
Sorry,
see
did I not
it,
put
so
enough in?
No. 6 more. Sorry, it's my fault.
Yeah, Tim does have Dixie covered. Dixie is in trouble. Serious trouble here, Mark. Could be walking. In fact, he's probably walking. And once the 6 comes, it was a tough spot to get out of.
Yeah,
really tough.
He made a move with king 6. Tim played the aces really well, and it came a, you know, I mean, how bad a flop is that when you're actually stealing and you've hit what you think is a winning flop? I mean, it doesn't happen very often.
So just 4 left, and you know, you take your chances, and this is what you get for it. Tim Flanders.
It's been off for an hour and a half.
Maximum value, maximum payout, and now he's taking a chance to win this tournament.
Well, I mean, for sure, it's the only way you get a guy to put all his chips in with king 6, isn't it, you know? But circumstances have to come so that the other guy actually ends up hanging himself. I mean, and a 3-3-6 flop is one of those situations.
Yep.
How strong is Tim feeling now? I mean, how strong is he right now to win this match?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely in there with a shout. He's got good chips and he's played that hand very well. He must be feeling really confident now.
And he's also, in addition to, you know, getting paid off on that good hand, he's been the guy who's been stealing the most tonight. But is he stealing this one?
I mean, Mick can't like his spot with Jack 2. I mean, it's just tough, you know. He'd probably say to himself, I think I'm winning, but I think I'll find a better spot, you know. Quite often that's the case.
Well, McCool's, his stack is not large. I mean, can he afford to pass up this opportunity even if he is just a marginal favourite?
Yeah, well, what you say to yourself here, though, there's a lot of hands he can't make him pass. You see what I mean? Like
Queen 10.
Yeah, he can't make him pass a nut flush draw. He can't make him pass probably a Queen 10. He can't make him pass any king. And at the end of the day, you've just got a jack.
And does the kicker come into play?
Well, I mean, if another card had come and it was a blank and then the bet comes out, now he can make a move because there's just one card left and he can get rid of the draws. But you just can't get rid of the draws on the flop. It's just so hard.
And is, in Mick's mind, is this going to be basically an all-in or fold situation, or is there a call here to reevaluate on the turn?
He can't call.
Raised 38,000.
Well played. In his mind, you see, he was pretty clear that he was in front, and he's actually followed it through. And there's a good thing to be taken from that. Mick read that situation absolutely spot on, that he's winning, but it's so marginal. But if you go with your gut feelings, and if your gut feelings are right more times than they're wrong, then you've got a chance. Otherwise, not go back and get a day job, you know.
Still the one long, thin stack. Cool.
Nice.
The Donica hasn't exactly been a serial raiser from the button either.
Raised 15,000.
He's well aware that he has to start this game as well. You know, it's a forced position now. You can't keep letting yourself lose 9,000 around.
Decision time for Mick. And the quick decision is a call. I mean, they say King 9 doesn't really play that well.
This is actually the hand Mick went out on last time with King 9 in the last competition, and we spoke about it, and he realised he played it bad. I'm just surprised he's made that call again.
He's going to have trouble playing this now.
Cool.
You know, he's got second pair. Donica's actually got the kind of hand you might be willing to go all the way with.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely bets there. I don't see him going all the way with it, but I mean, it's difficult for him to put it down once he bets.
30,000.
Well, he's bet 30. I mean, if Mick wants to make this an all-in, I don't know.
An all-in will get called because I think Mick's got something like 50,000 extra, so Donica can't pass his straight draw. Then he's got to hope it holds up. And the nice thing for Mick, without him knowing, is, of course, he's got one of the kings, which is the blocker to the straight.
And Mick is looking at this like he's twisted up like a pretzel. But as you said, these are the kind of decisions you face with King 9, or I mean, would you have preferred to see him re-raise before the flop? I mean, what's he got to do now?
Personally, if I'm playing King 9, I'm going to raise. I'm certainly not calling. I'm out of position. I don't know where I stand in the hand. You know, if I hit a king, so what? But that's the spot you've put yourself in by not raising pre-flop, you see. I mean, you know, why call with King 9?
I mean, he is no close. He's pulled the trigger.
This will get called.
Well, it has to. I mean,
yeah.
Donica will feel like he's got. I mean, he doesn't know that the 10s are an out. But
No. Donica will be saying to himself, you know, he'll sit there and work out what position he's in. I reckon he thinks he wins with an 8, a king, and he probably wins with a queen.
Right.
So I mean, that's enough outs for him to think.
Right.
50.
He's getting nearly 3-1 on this call. I mean, he's got a lot of room to make this call.
He calls quick. He knows.
You got Jack now?
No, you're winning.
Well, it's basically 50-50. I mean, look at how much money's in here. 193,000. It's Mick's whole tournament and half of Donica's.
There we go. It's as close to a flip as you can get.
Who's got the feeling? 8, 10, queen, king.
And this is where the only way you win tournaments is if you escape these situations.
Hearts don't matter here. All of a sudden, McCool now 70%. And it held blanks.
Well done. Good call.
Oh, no, we don't. Give somebody 5 blue chips.
So right now, everyone will basically play their hands very straight until Donica makes his move.
Yeah. Knowing, of course, the reason that is that you know that if Donahue's got any chips in the pot, he's got a call most of the time.
But this then may be suddenly a fold here, or?
Yeah, whereas before he'd probably like to have raised, he's probably thinking Donahue's a bit desperate and he has to call with anything, especially jacks.
And this hand's so big that
raise.
Right, the open shove is that the move anyway?
Well, he may as well do that because I mean, what bet can he possibly make that lets somebody come over the top thinking that you've got any fold equity? You've got no fold equity, have you? So whoever's playing against him knows all the chips are going in, so he might as well just shove and make it look like a desperate move. That's my opinion.
22,000 more, 32 total.
Do you know what? That doesn't look too bad a spot, you know. If I'm sitting there with King 10.
Well, if Donica just shoves, I mean, King 10 feels like a call. Now, is Tim now suspicious?
Yeah. Well, he knows he can't make Donahue pass, so he knows it's going to cost him 60,000 in total.
Re-race all in?
Yeah. And he may as well have just shoved. He would have got called the same result.
No.
It's actually quite a good spot for Donica OD.
Yeah.
And you don't really see any way it could have gone different.
No, I don't think Tim did anything wrong there. I think he gets me to call him as well.
71%. Pretty much anything but the king is what Donica's thinking. Tim would say, spike it to me here. Say flop.
You go weak.
118,000 in the pot.
I'll just go for the 1,000 and the Broadway 1,000. There might be no argument.
And now...
And now it's the jack. I mean, that's
ironic, yeah.
I think sick is the word, not ironic.
Sick if it comes.
Nice one. I'll knock you, Tim.
Double up, step forward for OD, step backwards for Tim.
Yeah.
59.
And now we're back to 4 players, and the little bits that Mick and Dave are in front is really no consequence because everyone does everyone serious damage, and it's game on a game with 4 players now.
Yeah, you can see by the leaderboard, you say basically, even though D's still short stacked, if he doubles up through Mick McCool, it's enough to really hurt Mick.
Yeah, it's a killer blow for everyone here. They're well aware of that.
And the dealers have allowed somebody to straddle on the bottom.
I mean, the way these tournaments work, you get so much equity from getting through that first stage.
Yeah,
it's massive.
Yeah, well,
This is really not that the final table is not pressure, because it is, but
well, it's not
means so much to get through here.
I mean, I would always object.
With just one going through, and I mean the turbo really is exactly what it says. You know, I don't even know if there's any reason to look at your cards in a turbo, but.
Yeah, since the beginning of the year.
This is your best chance. It means a lot to you, and you know it's pressure. You've got to get it right.
I prefer it on.
Now, the last time these guys took a free flop from the blinds, Donica was slow playing an ace, and Tim Flanders had king queen.
10,000. Cool.
This is a float. Is that what they call this? A float?
This is a float my boat, baby.
So is Tim definitely planning to
there
bluff
are two
this?
things. It could be a float, or it could be a I don't know what I've got. I've misread my cards. It was a float.
Is it a good play? It looks pretty strong.
I like it. I don't see. You know, this is the first proper move we've seen all game. I reckon Pippa taught him that.
And that was a good bit of creativity from Tim. He's been the guy who's been trying to steal, trying to win pots with the worst hand, Marc, and that's why he's where he is.
Some Russians still coming in, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, on and off, you know, playing.
We'll play a big game.
I just realised all these new terms the youngsters are brought in, they're just all like, you know, float is what the hell's he doing? CSI is how big is that stack? Well, just have a look.
Are soft enough.
We've had them for years, just never knew how to.
Pot control means like, oh, well, I'm in position.
Pass.
And that is what a lot more people are doing these days, Marc, is they don't want to get involved even forehanded with the ace rags, but they'll...
30.
They're just horrible cards. I mean, if you got position and you want to make a raise with them, that's fair enough, but you just know that if anyone comes back at you, you cannot make any plays with this.
Now, this is the first...
sometime, mate.
This is the first time that McCool's raised Rudling's blind where he's basically had anything reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the call. I don't like, but a raise I do like.
I'm like a monkey on your back.
And
okay, you got me.
Mick, that was Mick busily trying to talk Rudling out of re-raising.
Well played.
But you're not crazy about this call.
I don't see how he can make this call.
Too many chips.
And actually know where he is unless he hits a pat hand.
Notice that,
Sush out. Is that good for you? I've never seen bigger pupils in my life.
Right.
Don't check it.
That is not what you call a bad hand.
60,000.
But they both know they both feel like they've got enough equity here to go deep. McCool's made a big bet. That's a pot-sized bet.
Yeah, he doesn't want anybody calling with a bare club.
You haven't been insulted today.
He's taking a chance that he can get rid of him. Oh. Wow.
Ooh, call. And a call.
Wow. An insta call.
Do you think Rudling is doing a little bit more gambling than McCool here?
Well, Mick's made absolutely the right read, thinking he's up against a club, and he's took a chance.
Probably pretty even, I guess.
The percentages say Rudling's the favorite here. Look at this pot, 302,000. There ain't much between their chips. I think Rudling's all in.
Oh, wow. That's the killer card, but it still gives Mick a chance.
1 queen and 2 nines.
Nice.
He's missed. Welcome back to the Party Poker European Open 5. I'm cold in the box because Mr. Cool's in town. Marc Goodwin and myself watching the action.
Pass. All in.
Is this...
He's getting called there.
Oh, yeah. But 6 big blinds, the king 5 is the proper shove here?
Yes. He hasn't done anything wrong.
Re-raise all in.
Big re-raise from Rudling.
He wants to isolate himself with this hand. He can't be calling.
Pass. Odds, please.
Not so good. Mick was smiling, singing, laughing, and If he loses this hand and he's
Any
an
good news I can
underdog,
give you,
he'll
Mick,
be
about Master
going to the dogs.
Yeah.
King's
Maybe that famous Simon and Garfunkel song, Homeward Bound.
I was just happy to see 2 live cards in no pair.
It might have been 10-5. It could have been 10-6 though.
Is the well, you don't mind the king, but there's the old ace.
I can't get past fourth in these things.
5 outs for McCool, and he don't feel
Come on,
it.
Seamus, let's make a move.
It's the old stand-up, which usually gets you your card. He's got to get closer to the door is his best chance.
It's the superstitious thing.
Yeah.
He should actually walk out right now, so he has to be called back.
But no, that's it.
See you there. See you there, Don.
You'll have to mind those chips of mine better the next time.
Yeah, that's what Donica's saying. You take them from me, you give them to him. But that's no consolation for Mick.
No, he won't be feeling good.
Hello. How strong is he?
Yeah, he's in the driving seat for sure, and on the basis that he's absolutely fearless quite a lot of the time, they're in for a rocky ride, these two.
It feels like these guys don't rate Tim Flanders as high as well as he's playing. He's been capable of a lot more moves than people are giving him credit for.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, they all understand that Pippa's the strong member of the family, so I think they got second best shot.
Pass.
There's the shove. The jack's just in time, and I think he's getting called.
This is a call.
Is it always a call?
Nope.
A call.
And a call.
No good.
Jacks again.
Jacks have been Donica's second best friend tonight.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with a call, but you can also say to yourself, well, you know, obviously Donica's range to push is massive, so my sixes are okay, but then again, your sixes are going to be probably up against 2 overcards, so it's still very marginal. You're either a dog or you're in a race.
Double up for OD unless the 6 pops.
Pretty unusual to have that as a little cover for me.
Yeah, they've got the same suits. And this is going to put... Oh, it's going to put the cat amongst the pigeons, really. Rudling's chip lead is not going to be as that strong.
I don't think it makes much difference to him. It's just that now when Donoghue doubles up again, he hurts somebody a little bit more.
Right. Tim's problem, I guess, is that... Well, so you know he's thinking about the turbo, but he's got actually now a big enough lead over Donica where doing something silly would make him feel silly. But maybe in the long run it wouldn't be silly. But he's got to play those. He's made quads with them earlier. And with 86,000, do you favor an all-in or do you favor a...
I don't want to be playing this hand. If somebody calls me, I have not got a clue what I'm supposed to do. And I would rather push and take the blinds, and if someone calls me with ace queen or something, good luck to him, you know. I'm still favourite.
This is probably the one hand OD would like to get called by.
I dream of getting called by this hand.
With the 3s, you
It's
want to
not
get
gonna
called
happen.
by deuces, ace, deuce.
You just want to get called by 2 big overcards and hope you stand up.
Sounds as if you got me this time.
Oh, my word.
Boy,
threes.
boy.
Threes.
And we just saw the 3 passed. I mean, Donica OD is in bad shape.
Yeah.
Didn't fold kings, Tim, did he?
No, you don't want to know what to fold.
So he doesn't. There is a 3 of spades in the deck.
Flush draws and everything.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the biggest shock in my life to lose this hand.
Yeah, on the basis that we know a 3's gone, those odds are not correct of 81-19.
It's much worse, is it?
Yeah, 91-9. It's what it's showing now.
Right.
In fact, I think he's a 4% shot now, isn't he?
Don't tell him that. 3 of spades and 3 of spades alone.
You know what normally happens here is, when there's a card to come, person in Tim's spot says, I passed a 3, and the guy with queen says, yes, and a 3 comes, and everyone goes, oh, thanks for that.
Well done.
Not going to hold.
Cheers, good game.
Donica on the bubble, the bronze. The 3's made him quads, and the 3's knocked him out tonight, Marc.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. He had to take his shot there. He didn't do anything wrong in that situation. He just woke up against a hand. It's horrible.
Rudling's going to go into the heads
I
up
would
with
have run
about a
into you
3 to 1
I was
chip
thinking of
lead.
raising my ace to
You should have
300
pushed.
suit instead.
And this hand kind of automatic. Obviously, the big hand for OD, the pot against Mick McCool. Both of them, not many options about what to do.
Yeah, this one is just plays itself, you know, it's like a set-up hand and there's nothing much you can do. He didn't do anything wrong pushing me through. This is what he did do wrong was he walked into queens.
Good luck. Enjoy the turbos. The turbos are really good fun. I think you should
You've had
try
experience in the turbo. You should have another crack at it, I think.
Chips talk in this situation, so that makes David a massive favourite.
I know you're well aware of that.
That's why I folded that jack. I think I might have got that through though, if you had queen 2 or something.
There we go. He says. And he's all of a sudden, it's like.
Raised 37,000.
Oh my gosh.
That's the hand. Doesn't matter, yeah.
I mean, all of a sudden, Tim's thinking this hand is so big. Maybe there's some other play besides all in, but.
It's one of those ones where you all play cagey. He's going to pretend he doesn't know what to do. Go on then. I'm all in. Okay, then I call. You know, I mean, we could cut out the middleman here and just say these are both your hands. Just push all the chips in, and they would do gladly. You know.
76.
I'm all in.
All in.
I call.
I think he's going to check.
I have to take a risk call.
Yeah, he knows he's up against overs anyway. Well, but you don't know for sure. But Rudling would have moved with ace-8, ace-7, ace-6, wouldn't he have?
That's you taking a risk, is it?
Yeah.
What do you think I've got?
Something like that. I'm taking a risk, 50-50.
If Flanders can get this through, Marc, 226 will be a very playable stack. Rudling, of course, the chance to go to the semis.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, you like to have these shots where you know you can't go out.
That's pretty.
It's as good as it gets.
I wish you'd called the flop now.
And he's got him down very low. I mean, to lose this, an all-in, a major all-in coup heads up, to lose it and still have a chip lead. You know,
that's what you work for.
Beautiful spot, yeah.
This now is an even better spot.
Yeah.
Go on, make me sit down, Amanda. Make me sit back down. Sit back down, Tim. 9 clubs.
Texas Tim is Texas toast.
Good luck.
Yeah, I think the best two players ended heads up, and we thought it was going to be short and sweet, and it was.
That last hand, the straight race, Flanders short anyway, and as you said, even if Flanders had doubled up there, he's still got a mountain to climb.
Yeah, still a 2-to-1 dog, but obviously to win any tournament, you need to win races.
And the king popped on the turn for David Rudling, ending Tim's day, but he's going to be back.
Coming second place in these tournaments is quite disappointing because there's no prize for second. There's a consolation of a turbo heat, and that's a very quick game. So, well, I'll just have fun in the turbo, but I'd rather win them.
Yeah, I feel fantastic. You know, I got myself in a couple of coin flips, if you like, and they both fell my way. So I'm really lucky and really grateful and really happy. Yeah, it's great.
It is David Rudling through to the semifinals. Tim's wife, Pippa Flanders, a former World Open champion, will be at the table next time with the talk of the town, Neil Channing, and the man who always talks, John Tabai, here on the Party Poker European Open 5.